Hi, I want to share a picture that's worth 1,000 words. It's a picture of how to better communicate, how to more effectively communicate, to really be able to say everything that needs to be said, and for others to be able to hear everything that needs to be heard. I'm Brett Williams. I'm Mr. Marriage, the director of talkitthrough.com. That's THRU.com. And what we do is we provide phone-guided dialogues to help couples like you talk it through. Let me start off my image with you today with kind of a counter image. When I was a kid, we used to go down to Mexico. My brothers, my dad, our friends, and down in the campsites where we would camp, there would be these gullies that were kind of washes where the rainwater would erode the bluffs as they go down to the beach. And they'd make great trenches. We would divide up into teams and we'd each find our own trench, and then we'd start pulling rocks out of the side of the riverbank and we would chuck them. And we'd have these nasty rock wars. Not the best idea, but for kids that was fun. The sad part, though, is that image of rock wars is exactly what I see couples doing when they come to my office or when I'm doing phone dialogues with them. Most of the time, couples really do love each other. And when they get communication frustrated or when they get stuck in their communication, what they end up doing is they end up just taking these topics and just chucking them at each other. And then when they beam the other person doesn't respond well, and they usually take up their own topic and start throwing it back. And you get these wars going on where everybody's a loser. Even if you make your point, even if you hit them with your point, the fact that they've been wounded makes it so they don't want to listen. They don't care, or they're not going to support your point of view. So let me give you a new metaphor, a new picture of how I want you guys to have communications. And it'll be one that literally will change the way you talk. I want you to think about, it's called the rock game. Now what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you're out in a field or a park or a golf course or maybe at the beach, and in your hands you have a large rock. And this rock is your topic. Whatever it is, that doesn't matter to me. Whatever it is, I want you to take that topic and I want you to find a destination point. This is really important. Most of the time we throw rocks and we're just throwing them at the other person. We want to find a new destination point. Where do I want this rock to go? Do I want resolution? Do I want to be heard? Do I want to be listened to? Once you find your point of where you want to go, take your rock and you throw it. Throw it in that direction. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your partner along with you. And they're going to move forward with you to find out where that rock's landed. And wherever you find that rock has landed, your partner will pick up the rock and they will see if they can kind of guess or figure out where you're going with that rock and continue with the conversation by tossing the rock forward. After the rock lands, you both, again, will come to the point where the rock is stopped, and you'll pick it up this time. And if they're a little bit off because they were pointing a little bit different one direction and you wanted to go a little bit more the other direction, take your rock and just simply toss it in the direction you want to go. And after you do that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you finally eventually arrive at the destination point, where it is you wanted to go. That is a model of an effective communication. Two people having one conversation. Two people going to one place together, sharing it together. Each person adding or deepening to the dialogue. That's the metaphor you always want to keep. Well, let me give you an example of that. Trevor's upstairs in his room. Trevor's my youngest boy, and he's kind of hurt and bothered because I was kind of harsh with him Saturday morning, and he felt like it was kind of unfair. So I go up there and I start a dialogue with him. And I say, Trevor, tell me what's going on. And he basically shares that he's feeling like I yelled at him in a way that was harsh, or a way that was strong, or a way that felt like I was taking out my frustrations that go more appropriately to his brother onto him. And so after I hear him toss out his topic, I then follow him along. So it really feels like when I yelled at you this morning, it felt like to you I was yelling at Wesley. And to you, you feel like you're not Wesley. Is that, yeah? And I'm sure if it felt like I was yelling at you as I would yell at Wesley, I'd pick up his rock, I toss it forward to where I think he's going. Gosh, it must have really felt like I didn't really acknowledge you. And I didn't see you for all that you do and all the things that you try, and I was just too harsh. And I didn't really honor and thank you for all the things that you do right. I was just treating you as if you were equal to your brother. And that felt like you weren't appreciated. Is that right? Yeah. So he goes on and grabs the rock and throws it forward, says a little bit more about some friends of his and how he felt like his friends were treating him unfair as well. I pick up the rock and pass it forward and talk about how when I was a kid and I felt like I was the good guy, and my parents were always correcting me because I felt like I was correctable, I was learnable, teachable, and so they would correct me, and it always felt unfair to me as well. And so we both keep tossing the rock forward, making the conversation deeper and deeper and deeper until we reach that point of resolution or that point of completion where we feel like, gosh, it's really been talked through. It really feels like I've been heard. And at that point I give Trevor a hug and I let him know how much I love him. And it would have been totally appropriate for me to pick up that rock and begin to toss it back where my point of view is or what I'm thinking and feeling, but it really wasn't necessary. What was necessary for me was just to leave it where it was and to let him feel his feelings. That was an example of a healthy dialogue. Two people talking about one topic. And that's my tip for you today. If you want to hear more of our video logs on talkitthrough.com, jump on our site and go to Brett's Logs. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. Again, this is Brett Williams, Mr. Marriage. Take care.